Hello, my dear friends. Today, I want to share something important with you: easy ways to practice English. I know that learning English can feel difficult. Maybe you understand the words, but when you try to speak, you hesitate. Maybe you feel nervous talking to native speakers. Maybe you feel like your pronunciation isn't good, or you don't know the right words to use. I understand because many people struggle with the same thing. Let me introduce you to someone, Emma Carter. She is 23 years old and lives in New York City, United States. Emma always wanted to speak fluent English, but she faced many problems. She understood English when reading or listening, but speaking was hard. She felt nervous, made mistakes, and sometimes forgot simple words. But she found easy ways to practice, and today she is confident in English. In this story, I will take you through Emma's journey. You will learn from her experience and discover simple, fun, and effective ways to improve your English. Whether you are a beginner or an intermediate learner, these tips will help you speak English better. So, let's begin. Emma Carter had always dreamed of speaking English fluently. She worked as a cashier in a supermarket in New York City, and she often met customers who spoke only English. She wanted to talk to them easily, but she always felt nervous. When someone asked her a question, she would panic, searching for the right words. Sometimes she would smile awkwardly and reply in short sentences. One day, a customer asked, "Can you tell me where to find the peanut butter?" Emma knew the answer, but instead of responding confidently, she hesitated. Uh, um, over there, she pointed. The customer smiled and walked away, but Emma felt embarrassed. She wanted to say, "The peanut butter is in aisle 5, near the bread," but she couldn't find the words fast enough. That night, Emma decided, "I must improve my English. I need to practice every day." She started looking for easy ways to practice English. Here's what she did. 1. Thinking in English, Emma realized that one reason she struggled was because she always thought in Spanish first, her native language, and then translated into English. This took too much time. She decided to change this. Every day, she forced herself to think in English. For example, when she woke up, she said in her mind, "I need to get up and brush my teeth." While cooking, she thought, "I am making an omelet. I need eggs, salt, and oil." While walking, she looked around and named things in English. "That is a red car. The sky is blue." At first, it was difficult, but soon, her brain became faster at finding English words. 2. Talking to herself. Since Emma didn't have many people to practice with, she started talking to herself in English. She did this in front of a mirror. Every night, she stood in front of the mirror and spoke about her day. "Today, I went to work. I met many customers. One customer asked for peanut butter, and I didn't answer well. Next time, I will do better." By talking to herself, she became more comfortable speaking English. 3. Watching English movies and shows. Emma started watching English movies and TV shows with subtitles. She paid attention to how native speakers spoke. She watched Friends to learn casual English conversations, The Office to understand workplace English, Disney movies because the language was simple and clear. She didn't just watch, she also repeated sentences after the actors. If a character said, "I don't know what to do," She paused the video and repeated it exactly the same way. 4. Speaking with friends. Emma had a friend, James Walker, who spoke fluent English. She told him, "James, I need to practice my English. Can we speak in English every day?" James was happy to help. Whenever they met, he only spoke English with her. At first, Emma felt shy, but James encouraged her, saying, "Don't worry about mistakes, just speak." Slowly, she became more confident. 5. Using language apps. Emma also used apps like Duolingo and HelloTalk to practice English. On HelloTalk, she met native English speakers who wanted to learn Spanish. They did a language exchange. She helped them with Spanish, and they helped her with English. She chatted with a woman from California who corrected her mistakes kindly. 6. Joining an English meetup, Emma found a local English-speaking club in New York. Every weekend, she met with people who also wanted to improve their English. At first, she was nervous, but soon she started enjoying it. She made mistakes, but nobody laughed at her. Everyone was learning together. 7. Writing in English. Emma started keeping a journal in English. Every night, she wrote about her day. Today was a good day. I spoke with 3 customers in English. I felt more confident. Writing helped her remember words and express herself better. 8. Learning phrases, not just words. Emma realized that learning individual words wasn't enough. Instead of memorizing single words, she learned phrases and expressions. For example, instead of just tired, she learned I am exhausted. Instead of I don't understand, she learned can you explain that again? This made her sound more natural. 9. Practicing every day. The most important thing Emma did was practice every day. She didn't wait for the perfect time. Even if she was busy, she made time for English. Some days she practiced for 30 minutes. Some days only 10 minutes. But she never skipped a day. Emma's journey didn't stop at simple daily routines. As her confidence grew, so did her ambitions. Every day brought new opportunities to challenge herself and embrace the language even further. In the bustling heart of New York City, Emma's life was a constant stream of interactions that slowly transformed into stepping stones for improvement. While working at the supermarket, she began to notice that each conversation was not only a chance to serve customers, but also a practice session in disguise. Every good morning or have a nice day was a small victory. Gradually, Emma started to experiment with longer greetings and casual chats with regular customers. One sunny afternoon, as she restocked shelves, she was greeted by Mr. Henry Thompson, a kind elderly gentleman known to all in the neighborhood. Henry always started his day with a friendly, "Emma, how are you today?" With a smile, she responded with, "I'm doing well, Mr. Thompson. How about you? Did you enjoy your morning walk in the park?" That small addition of inquiry opened up a genuine conversation, and soon enough, Emma was learning more about idioms and expressions that native speakers used without a second thought. At the same time, her friend James Walker continued to be an invaluable mentor. Not only did he regularly converse with her in English, but he also introduced Emma to other opportunities. One day, James invited her to a community event organized by a local English club known as the United Voices. The club, composed of people from different parts of the United States, like Sophia Johnson from Chicago, Daniel Roberts from Los Angeles, and Michelle Allen from Houston, met every Thursday at a nearby library. The group's dynamic was warm and supportive. They shared tips on pronunciation, exchanged cultural anecdotes, and even played word games that turned into a mix of fun and learning. During one such meeting, Sophia Johnson, with her bright enthusiasm, proposed a Word of the Day challenge. Each member had to use the chosen word as many times as possible in casual conversation. For Emma, this was a turning point. The club wasn't just a gathering, it was an immersive environment where English was the heartbeat of every interaction. It wasn't long before she started to pick up subtle nuances: how to express emotions in a variety of ways, how to use humor, and even how to apologize gracefully when she made a mistake. Beyond the supermarket and the club meetings, Emma discovered an online world teeming with opportunities to practice English. She joined several forums and social media groups where Americans exchanged ideas about hobbies, travel, and daily life. One particularly memorable interaction occurred on a platform where members discussed favorite travel destinations in the United States. Emma found herself deep in a conversation with Christopher Miller from Seattle, who passionately described the serene beauty of the Olympic National Park. They exchanged stories about their respective hometowns, Emma's New York versus Christopher's rainy Pacific Northwest, and the dialogue slowly turned into an impromptu lesson in regional expressions and accents. Every message, every comment, and every reply helped Emma see that the world of English wasn't monolithic. It was as diverse as the people who spoke it, with each region adding its own flavor and style. Emma also discovered that writing could be a powerful way to refine her thoughts in English. Encouraged by her progress, she started a blog titled Emma's English Escapades. Here, she documented her daily experiences, shared quirky observations from her work, and recounted amusing incidents when she mispronounced a word or used an unexpected phrase. One entry detailed the time she accidentally mixed up bread with bread while describing her baking attempts at home. Though initially mortifying, the incident became a humorous lesson shared with her readers, who left encouraging comments and even shared their own similar mishaps. The blog gradually became a safe space not only for her self-expression, but also for feedback, as readers suggested corrections and celebrated her progress. One of the most significant breakthroughs for Emma came when she decided to enroll in an intensive language course at a community college in Manhattan. The course was taught by Professor Laura Benson, a seasoned educator who had dedicated her career to helping non-native speakers master English. Professor Benson's approach was practical and empathetic. She believed that language learning was not just about grammar and vocabulary, but about connecting with people. Her classes included role-playing scenarios that simulated real-life situations, ordering at a restaurant, asking for directions, or even participating in a job interview. In one memorable class session, Emma and a classmate named Michael Davis were tasked with simulating a customer service exchange. Michael, with his clear and patient instructions, helped Emma practice phrases and intonation, allowing her to gain the courage to speak longer sentences without pausing for translation in her head. Professor Benson also introduced her students to the concept of shadowing, a technique where learners mimic the speech of native speakers from audio recordings. Emma practiced diligently, repeating news broadcasts from NPR and lines from her favorite movies. Over time, her pronunciation improved, and she started picking up the rhythm and melody of English. The repetitive nature of the shadowing exercise slowly replaced her earlier habit of translating from Spanish, and soon her responses began to sound more natural and fluid. Outside the structured classroom environment, Emma's natural curiosity led her to explore various facets of American culture. She joined local tours around New York City, participated in museum events, and even attended poetry readings. During one of these events at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, she met Evelyn Davis, a local writer who had published several books on urban life. Evelyn's eloquent descriptions of the museum's exhibits captivated Emma, inspiring her to experiment with creative writing. With Evelyn's encouragement, Emma began to write short stories in English, each narrating her unique perspective of everyday life in New York. These stories were filled with detailed observations, like the way the autumn light filtered through Central Park's trees, or the distinct aroma of street food in Little Italy. Each story was a testament to her growing command over the language, as well as a celebration of the rich cultural tapestry of the United States. As Emma's proficiency in English grew, so did her social circle. She soon found herself invited to dinner parties and social gatherings where conversation flowed freely. At one such dinner, hosted by her friend James Walker at his apartment in Brooklyn, she met several professionals, including Liam Thompson, a marketing executive, and Rachel Garcia, a software engineer. These gatherings were initially intimidating, surrounded by native speakers with confident, rapid speech. But Emma approached them as another chance to practice. During these dinners, discussions ranged from the latest blockbuster movies to debates about current events. When the conversation touched on American politics, Emma listened intently, absorbing the cadence and structure of persuasive speeches. She even dared to offer her own opinions, carefully choosing her words and practicing the art of respectful debate. The evening was filled with laughter, shared stories, and a mutual understanding that language was not merely a tool for communication, but a bridge connecting diverse experiences. The cumulative effect of these varied experiences was profound. Emma began to notice subtle yet significant changes in her behavior. When she walked into a room, she no longer hesitated to greet everyone with a warm, "Hello? How are you?" Her small talk grew longer and more engaging. At work, instead of relying on a few rehearsed phrases, she now used a rich variety of expressions that made her interactions more genuine. Customers appreciated her improved communication, and her supervisors noticed a newfound confidence that even translated into a more efficient work environment. One day, her manager, Mr. Robert Harris, commended her in front of the team, saying, "Emma, your progress in English is remarkable. Your friendly and articulate manner has really brightened our store." Those words of praise solidified her belief that every effort, every conversation, and every mistake was a step toward mastery. Yet Emma's journey was not without setbacks. There were moments of self-doubt when she would forget a word mid-sentence, or when a complex phrase would elude her in the middle of a heated discussion. Instead of shying away, she learned to embrace these moments. Each mistake became an opportunity to learn. She kept a small notebook where she jotted down unfamiliar words or phrases that popped up during conversations. Every evening, before she went to bed, she reviewed her notes, practiced the correct pronunciation, and looked up additional examples of usage online. Over time, that notebook transformed into a personal dictionary, a living record of her growth in the language. Emma also learned the importance of cultural context. Understanding idiomatic expressions and cultural references was crucial. For example, when she first heard the phrase, "it's a piece of cake," she took it literally. Later, during a conversation with her friend Michael Davis, he explained that it meant something was very easy. Such insights were invaluable. They didn't just help her understand English better, they allowed her to appreciate the cultural nuances behind the words. Conversations with native speakers provided Emma with a deeper understanding of American humor, sarcasm, and even slang. She learned that language was a living, evolving form of art, and that mastery came from continuous interaction and adaptation. As Emma's proficiency grew, so did her ambitions beyond the confines of everyday conversation. She started volunteering at local events aimed at helping other non-native speakers learn English. At a community center in Queens, Emma organized weekly English conversation hours. She invited her fellow learners and native speakers alike, people like Anthony Scott from Philadelphia and Jenna Martinez from San Diego, to share their experiences and learn together. These sessions were informal, often held over coffee and light snacks, and they emphasized interactive learning. Emma would sometimes lead a discussion on a popular American book or film, encouraging everyone to share their thoughts and ask questions. This not only reinforced her own skills, but also created a supportive community where every mistake was seen as a stepping stone toward improvement. Another turning point came when Emma decided to take a public speaking workshop. The workshop was designed for professionals, and participants were expected to give short speeches on various topics. Nervous yet determined, Emma prepared a talk on the role of communication in daily life. On the day of the workshop, as she stood in front of a room full of people, she felt her heart racing. But as she began speaking, she remembered all her practice, talking to herself, rehearsing in front of a mirror, and speaking in the English club. Her voice, steady and clear, resonated through the room. The applause that followed wasn't just for the content of her speech, but for her journey, her perseverance, and her undeniable progress. Over time, Emma's story began to inspire many. Articles in local newspapers featured her journey as a beacon of hope for those struggling with a new language. Interviews highlighted her unique blend of persistence and innovative learning techniques. Even her old colleagues at the supermarket noticed the transformation. They marveled at how a series of small, everyday practices had culminated in such remarkable improvement. Emma's favorite customer, Mr. Henry Thompson, once said, "You remind me that learning is a lifelong journey. Every step you take makes a difference." Emma's story is a testament to the idea that language learning isn't confined to textbooks or formal classes. It's woven into every aspect of life. From the supermarket aisles to community centers, from cozy online forums to bustling dinner parties, Every interaction is an opportunity to learn. Her journey reinforces that practicing English doesn't require perfection. It requires passion, persistence, and the courage to make mistakes. With every conversation, every written word, and every shared story, Emma Carter not only mastered English, but also discovered the beauty of a language that connects people across diverse cultures and experiences. Her experiences remind us that the process of learning is continuous. Even after reaching a level of fluency, there is always room for growth, new expressions to learn, fresh perspectives to gain, and evolving cultural nuances to understand. Emma's journey illustrates that with determination and a positive mindset, even the most challenging language can become a source of joy and empowerment. For anyone who dreams of speaking English fluently, Emma's journey offers several key lessons. Embrace every opportunity, whether it's a brief exchange with a customer or a deep conversation at a community event. Every interaction is valuable. Learn from mistakes. Every error is a lesson. Keeping a notebook to track these moments can turn setbacks into progress. Engage with the community. Joining clubs, attending workshops, and volunteering not only build language skills, but also create lasting friendships. Celebrate progress. Every small success is a milestone on the path to fluency. Recognize and celebrate these moments. They fuel the journey ahead. Keep curiosity alive. Explore beyond formal learning. Dive into cultural events, creative writing, public speaking, and even travel within the United States to experience the diversity of the language. In reflecting on her journey, Emma often sits at her favorite coffee shop in Manhattan, a quiet corner that offers a perfect blend of background chatter and moments of solitude. With her journal open and her pen in hand, she writes not only about her day, but also about the lessons learned and the dreams that lie ahead. The language she once struggled with is now a part of her identity, a tool that has opened doors to new opportunities, friendships, and a deeper understanding of the world around her. Looking back, Emma Carter's progress wasn't merely about learning English. It was about embracing change, overcoming fears, and transforming challenges into stepping stones. Her journey, rich with daily practices, heartfelt interactions, and courageous steps into unknown territories, is a shining example of what can be achieved with persistence and passion. For anyone standing at the beginning of their language learning journey, Emma's story is a gentle reminder that every conversation, every shared smile, and every moment of self-doubt conquered is a victory on the path to mastery. As the days turned into months and months into years, Emma's influence spread far and wide. People from different backgrounds and parts of the United States reached out to her for advice on how to overcome their own language barriers. Emma's blog, Emma's English Escapades, blossomed into a community of learners who supported each other with tips, motivational stories, and practical advice. Through her writing, workshops, and casual conversations, Emma continued to inspire others to take that first step, to practice every day, and to never let fear hold them back from connecting with the world through language. And so, in every conversation that sparks a smile, every corrected phrase that builds confidence, and every new friend made along the way, Emma Carter's legacy lives on. Her journey is a celebration of the human spirit, resilient, determined, and ever curious. It is proof that with a little courage and a lot of practice, the language of dreams can indeed become the language of everyday life. Emma's journey continued to evolve as she discovered even more creative ways to practice English every day. After establishing a solid foundation through daily interactions, structured courses, and supportive communities, Emma began to explore advanced methods that not only honed her language skills, but also deepened her connection to American culture. One crisp autumn morning, Emma decided to take on a new challenge: creative storytelling. Inspired by her regular visits to the library, where rows of books whispered secrets of countless lives, she enrolled in a creative writing workshop at a community center in Manhattan. The class was a vibrant mix of aspiring writers and seasoned storytellers. Under the guidance of a renowned local author, Mr. Anthony Reed, the workshop emphasized that storytelling was about painting vivid pictures with words. Emma learned how to construct a narrative, develop characters, and create tension, even in everyday situations. In her first assignment, Emma wrote a short story about a chance meeting on a subway platform. She described the hurried steps of commuters, the echo of footsteps on tiled floors, and a brief conversation with an elderly man who reminisced about his youth in Brooklyn. The exercise challenged her to employ descriptive adjectives, dynamic verbs, and idiomatic expressions. More importantly, it pushed her to think in English and express complex emotions without reverting to her native language. Her story, filled with authenticity and creative flair, earned glowing feedback from her classmates and boosted her confidence as both a writer and a speaker. Outside the writing workshop, Emma also sought to expand her vocabulary by immersing herself in literature. She joined a local book club that met every month in a quaint bookstore nestled in a busy New York neighborhood. The club read a wide variety of genres, from classic American novels to modern memoirs, and every meeting was an opportunity to discuss interpretations, debate themes, and analyze the use of language. Here, Emma learned not only new words, but also the subtle differences in tone and context. The discussions were animated, with members often quoting lines from the books and sharing personal insights on how certain expressions resonated with their own lives. Emma's dedication led her to participate in several public events that further enriched her understanding of English. At a renowned poetry slam held at an arts cafe in downtown Manhattan, she was mesmerized by the passion and rhythm in the spoken word. The poet's ability to use language to express deep emotions and social commentary was both inspiring and instructive. After the event, Emma struck up a conversation with one of the performers, a talented poet named Jasmine Lee, who shared some unconventional techniques for memorizing and delivering poetry. Jasmine explained that understanding the musicality of language, its pauses, crescendos, and emphasis, could transform a recitation into an immersive performance. Emma began practicing these techniques, finding that even in casual conversations, the natural rhythm of her speech became more engaging and confident. As Emma's proficiency grew, she realized that language learning was not a solitary pursuit, but a lifelong journey of exploration. Determined to give back She started volunteering as a mentor for newcomers who were just beginning their journey with English. At a community center in Queens, she organized weekly language lattes, casual meetups held in a cozy cafe where people of all ages came together to chat over coffee and share their learning experiences. Emma's empathetic nature and infectious enthusiasm made her a natural mentor. She listened patiently as others expressed their struggles and shared tips that had worked for her, like listening to English podcasts during commutes, singing along to popular songs, or even narrating mundane activities in her head. These sessions soon became a cherished ritual for many, a time when mistakes were celebrated as part of the learning process, and every conversation was a step toward greater fluency. Another exciting chapter in Emma's journey was her venture into digital learning. With the advent of virtual classes and online forums, she discovered that technology could be a powerful ally. Emma joined an online platform where she could participate in live debates, join discussion groups, and even attend webinars hosted by English language experts from various parts of the United States. One memorable webinar was on the nuances of American humor, a topic that often perplexed non-native speakers. The session was interactive, with participants asked to analyze jokes, puns, and satirical sketches. Emma found that understanding humor not only made her language skills more robust, but also gave her insights into American cultural values and social commentary. Digital media also opened up opportunities for Emma to engage with her peers beyond the borders of her local community. She started a YouTube channel where she shared short vlogs about her daily experiences and the tips that had transformed her English. In her videos, Emma would often revisit her early days at the supermarket, recounting how each interaction was a stepping stone to fluency. With time, her channel attracted viewers from all over the United States and even international audiences, all eager to learn from her journey. The comments section became a lively forum of exchange, where viewers shared their own challenges and celebrated each small victory. Emma's ability to articulate her thoughts in clear, engaging English inspired many, reinforcing the idea that persistence and passion could break down even the toughest language barriers. In addition to these modern methods, Emma continued to value traditional forms of learning. She maintained her daily journal, but now it included reflections on her progress, notes on new expressions she encountered, and even doodles that represented her feelings on certain days. Each entry was a snapshot of her evolving relationship with the language, a personal diary that documented not only her linguistic journey, but also her growth as an individual navigating life in a bustling metropolis. One particularly transformative experience occurred when Emma participated in a regional storytelling contest organized by a local cultural center. The contest invited participants to share personal narratives in English, blending storytelling with elements of music and performance. Emma decided to recount her entire journey, from the initial hesitations at work to the triumphant moments in community gatherings. On the day of the contest, the venue was packed with enthusiastic listeners, and the air buzzed with anticipation. As Emma took the stage, her heart pounded, but she recalled all the practices and supportive words from friends like James Walker and Mr. Thompson. With a steady voice, she began her story, weaving humor, emotion, and vivid imagery into every sentence. The audience was captivated. Her story resonated deeply, eliciting smiles, nods, and even a few tears. When the applause erupted at the end of her performance, Emma knew that she had not only overcome her own challenges, but had also touched the hearts of those who had followed her journey. Her success at the contest was a turning point. Local media picked up her story, and soon interviews followed. Emma was featured in community newsletters and even invited to speak at local schools about the importance of language learning and perseverance. She spoke passionately about how every conversation, no matter how small, was an opportunity to learn, grow, and connect with others. Emma's message was simple. English, like any language, was not just a tool for communication, but a bridge to understanding and unity. Her voice became a beacon for those who felt overwhelmed by the challenges of learning a new language, and her story inspired countless individuals to take that first step toward fluency. Throughout all these adventures, Emma never forgot the simple yet powerful strategies that had set her on her path. She continued to think in English, practice with friends, and embrace every moment as an opportunity to learn. Even on days when progress seemed slow or obstacles appeared insurmountable, she reminded herself of the many small victories. Each corrected mistake, each new word learned, and each genuine conversation that boosted her confidence. In her quiet moments, when she sat by the window of her modest apartment overlooking a busy New York street, Emma often reflected on her journey. She remembered the initial embarrassment of not knowing how to answer a simple question and how far she had come. The city, with its vibrant mix of cultures and endless opportunities, had taught her that learning was a continuous adventure. Every street corner held a lesson, every friendly smile was a word of encouragement, and every shared story was a reminder that communication transcended language. Emma's journey is a vivid reminder that there are countless easy ways to practice English if one is willing to seek them out. Her story, from speaking with customers at the supermarket and joining local clubs to embracing digital media and sharing her experiences with the world, illustrates that learning a language is an immersive, dynamic process. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone, engaging with others, and transforming everyday interactions into powerful learning experiences. Her evolution continued as she expanded her horizons even further. Inspired by her mentors and the many people who had supported her along the way, Emma started developing her own series of language workshops. These workshops were designed not just for learners, but also for native speakers who wanted to understand the challenges of language acquisition. By creating an environment where both groups could share insights, she fostered mutual respect and empathy. The workshops featured interactive sessions, role-playing exercises, and even group storytelling, all aimed at celebrating the beauty of communication in all its forms. One of the most memorable sessions was titled The Language of Emotions. In this session, Emma invited participants to share how certain words or phrases made them feel. One participant, a middle-aged man named Robert Harris, explained how the simple greeting, "Good morning," could lift his spirits on a gloomy day. A young college student, Olivia Martinez, talked about the excitement evoked by idioms like "over the moon." These discussions illuminated the emotional power of language and how words could bind people together regardless of their background. Emma's workshop not only improved language skills, but also built bridges between diverse communities across the United States. As the months turned into years, Emma's influence spread far beyond her immediate circle. She was invited to participate in national panels on language education, where experts discussed innovative methods for teaching English to non-native speakers. Emma shared her personal experiences, emphasizing that effective language learning was not solely about memorizing vocabulary or perfecting grammar. It was about cultivating a mindset of curiosity, resilience, and openness. She spoke about how the act of learning English had enriched her life, broadened her perspectives, and introduced her to a tapestry of cultures and stories from across the nation. Even as she gained recognition, Emma remained humble and deeply connected to her roots. She continued her routine of writing in her journal, engaging in daily conversations, and exploring every new opportunity with the same passion that had driven her from the start. Her daily walks through Central Park, where she mentally described every vibrant scene, became both a form of meditation and a language exercise. Her voice, once shaky and hesitant, now carried a confident tone that resonated with the spirit of New York City, a city where dreams are made and every street corner tells a story. In private moments, Emma would often revisit her early challenges, the times when a pause in conversation felt like a wall too high to climb, when uncertainty clouded her every word. Those memories, instead of causing regret, now fueled her determination to continue learning and sharing her journey with others. She remembered Mr. Thompson's gentle encouragement, James Walker's steadfast support, and every person who had ever smiled at her progress. Their kindness had made her realize that learning English was not just an individual endeavor, but a shared experience that connected hearts across language barriers. Emma's evolving story is a tapestry of perseverance, innovation, and heartfelt connections. As Emma's journey continued, she began exploring even more innovative and immersive ways to refine her English skills while also giving back to her community. She found that every new experience enriched her language and deepened her connection with those around her. One crisp winter afternoon, Emma decided to combine her passion for language and art. Inspired by the vibrant street art and murals scattered throughout Brooklyn, she organized a community language walk that blended urban exploration with linguistic exercises. Participants gathered at a popular local cafe, each armed with a notepad and an eagerness to explore. As the group strolled through the city's colorful neighborhoods, Emma encouraged everyone to describe what they saw in English: the bold strokes of graffiti, the intricate patterns on a historic building, and the bustling energy of local markets. This activity wasn't just about vocabulary, it was about perceiving the city through an artistic lens and learning to articulate emotions and observations in a language that was becoming more and more familiar. The Language Walk became a monthly event, drawing diverse groups from across the United States who shared their unique perspectives, sparking lively discussions that blended art, culture, and language. At the same time, Emma's digital presence continued to grow. Her YouTube channel, Emma's English Escapades, evolved into a platform for interactive learning. She began hosting live sessions where viewers from all over the country could join in real time. These sessions were a mix of Q&A segments, live storytelling, and on-the-spot pronunciation drills. In one memorable live session, Emma invited a special guest, Dr. Olivia Benson, a linguist specializing in second language acquisition. Together, they discussed how body language and facial expressions complement spoken words. Dr. Benson explained that nonverbal cues could significantly boost comprehension, a tip that resonated with Emma and her viewers. This interaction not only provided scientific insight, but also reinforced the idea that mastering English was about embracing both verbal and nonverbal communication. The session received widespread praise, and viewers appreciated the balanced blend of academic insight and practical advice. As Emma's reputation as a mentor and innovator grew, she was invited to collaborate with local libraries and cultural centers on a new initiative titled Voices of the City. This project aimed to document the diverse linguistic landscape of New York City by inviting residents from all backgrounds to share their personal stories in English. Emma's role was to guide the participants in expressing their narratives clearly while preserving the unique flavors of their native tongues. Together with a team of volunteers, Emma recorded interviews with individuals ranging from recent immigrants to longtime New Yorkers. The project culminated in a community event where these recorded stories were played back in a cozy, intimate setting. Listeners were moved by tales of resilience, hope, and transformation, realizing that every story was an essential thread in the rich tapestry of American life. The event underscored how language, with all its nuances, could be a powerful tool for connection and empathy. During this period, Emma also embraced the world of literature more deeply. Not content with merely participating in a book club, she began a collaborative project with several local authors and educators to create an anthology of short stories written in English by non-native speakers. Each story in the anthology captured a personal experience, a moment of triumph, a humorous misadventure, or a poignant lesson learned through the challenges of adapting to a new culture. Emma herself contributed a heartfelt narrative, recounting her early days of stumbling through conversations at the supermarket, juxtaposed with her eventual breakthroughs. The anthology, titled New Voices, New Beginnings, not only celebrated linguistic diversity, but also served as a motivational tool for aspiring English learners across the nation. Its success led to workshops and readings, where Emma and her co-authors discussed how writing in a second language could empower individuals to reclaim their narratives and assert their identities. In parallel with these creative endeavors, Emma continued to seek academic enrichment. Motivated by her growing proficiency, she enrolled in an advanced literature course at a local university. The class explored works ranging from classic American novels to contemporary essays that delved into the complexities of identity, culture, and language. Engaging in spirited debates and critical analyses, Emma discovered that the written word could be just as impactful as spoken conversation. Her professors noted her insightful interpretations and her ability to connect literary themes with her personal journey of language acquisition. This academic pursuit not only sharpened her analytical skills, but also provided her with a deeper understanding of the cultural and historical contexts that shaped the English language in the United States. Outside the classroom, Emma found herself drawn to volunteer work that bridged language and social advocacy. Partnering with a local nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting refugees and immigrants, she began teaching conversational English in community centers across the city. Here, Emma discovered that every learner brought a wealth of experiences and a distinct voice. In these classes, the traditional teacher student dynamic transformed into a collaborative journey where every story was valued. Emma's sessions were infused with interactive activities, role playing common scenarios, group discussions on culturally significant topics, and creative writing prompts that allowed participants to express their hopes and challenges. The vibrancy of these sessions reaffirmed her belief that language learning was not merely about grammar and vocabulary, but about sharing one's humanity. The smiles, the breakthroughs, and even the occasional shared laugh at a mispronounced word became the markers of progress and connection. Amidst these community-focused projects, Emma continued to nurture her own creative spirit. She began experimenting with a new form of self-expression, podcasting. In her weekly podcast, Emma's Journey in English, she shared personal anecdotes, interviewed fellow learners, and discussed strategies for overcoming language barriers. One episode featured a candid conversation with her old friend James Walker, who reflected on the early days of Emma's struggle and celebrated her evolution. Another episode featured a roundtable with several members of the Voices of the City project, each sharing the pivotal moments that had defined their linguistic journeys. The podcast became a safe haven for many listeners, an audio diary that offered not only tips for language improvement, but also the comfort of knowing that every learner's path was unique and fraught with both challenges and triumphs. Emma's relentless pursuit of excellence in English also led her to explore international connections. Through her digital network, she engaged in language exchanges with learners and native speakers from different parts of the world. One such exchange was with a young teacher from London, Emily Watson, who introduced Emma to British colloquialisms and humor. Their friendly debates about regional accents and expressions enriched Emma's understanding of the broader English-speaking world. It became evident to her that while her journey was deeply rooted in the American experience, the language itself was a global bridge, connecting diverse cultures and perspectives. As the seasons changed, Emma took a reflective pause one summer evening on a rooftop overlooking the New York skyline. Surrounded by a small group of close friends and fellow learners, she shared her reflections on how far she had come. With the city lights twinkling in the background, she recalled the nervous beginnings, the countless hours of practice, the support of mentors, and the transformative experiences that had led her to this moment. Her voice, steady and clear, carried the weight of experience and the lightness of newfound confidence. In that intimate gathering, Emma's story became a collective inspiration, a reminder that language learning was a journey best shared with others. Even as Emma celebrated her personal achievements, she never lost sight of the broader mission. Her workshops, community projects, literary collaborations, and digital endeavors were all threads in a larger fabric, a fabric that wove together countless stories of hope, resilience, and transformation. Through her efforts, Emma had ignited a spark in many who once felt overwhelmed by the challenges of learning English. Her message was simple yet profound. Every word spoken, every sentence written, and every conversation held was a step toward empowerment and connection. In the years that followed, Emma continued to expand her horizons. She collaborated with educators to develop interactive language learning modules that incorporated virtual reality experiences, allowing learners to immerse themselves in simulated environments, from ordering coffee in a bustling cafe to navigating a busy airport. These innovative modules bridged the gap between theoretical learning and real-life practice, offering learners a safe space to make mistakes and grow. Emma's work in this area was recognized by several educational institutions, and she was invited to speak at conferences about the future of language education in an increasingly digital world. Looking back on her journey, Emma Carter's story is more than just a personal triumph. It is a beacon of possibility for anyone striving to overcome language barriers.